With so many major brands of tequila on the market, it takes a lot of courage for a new brand to compete. But LA native Miguel De Los Rios is committed to making his tequila dreams come true.
I've actually never been to this part of Boyle Heights.
Okay.
Now you're telling me it's kind of on the outskirts, the end of Boyle Heights?
Yeah, it's almost at the furthest most east of Boyle Heights, and then you go into East LA. But it's considered East LA.
Now, why is this special for you?
Well, I grew up around here. I grew up a block away from Estrada Courts. But more importantly is I remember seeing these murals as a kid, and they would transport me. They would transport me to a different place. You know, there's Aztec images of the temples, there's ocean fantasy, there's horses. There is a number of images that transport you. Unfortunately, there are murals that have been affected by graffiti, but there are some great organizations like the Mural Conservancy of Los Angeles that are restoring them. And the community is starting to recognize and acknowledge the importance of the murals. And this one in particular, Patricia, has significance for me because of the Aztec images, Cesar Chavez, Emiliano Zapata, Villa, Cantinflas. And these images are iconic. And it all kind of ties in together of where we come from and our roots.
I love that you mentioned that, because we should probably mention that I'm wearing a cowboy hat. And I wore this because you're urban cowboy.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure I'm not the first person to say that you're an urban cowboy. I feel like you've kind of gone into this transformation of maybe reconnecting. You sort of did things backwards. You were born and raised here,
right,
and then actually went back to Mexico.
Yes, to my parents' roots.
To your parents' roots, to discover yourself, but also to launch a tequila line.
Yes. When the opportunity surged, I kind of, sold the car, burned the boat, as they say, and I took my savings and I started my journey. I had to move back to Mexico. I had to learn about agave, learn the entire process from A to Z. I had already worked for a multinational company in spirits, but now this was my brand. The tequila, it's a quality product, but really it was, how do I stand out from the rest? And I really put a great deal of thought into the design. I designed the bottle. I designed a lot of the pieces that are very Mexican. It's a very Mexican product. The eagle itself, for instance, has 16 feathers on each side, 9 on the tail. That's Mexican Independence Day. Why the serpent?
Right.
Because it's a Mexican product. Because tequila es un producto mexicano.
Yeah, it's true.
And for that and many more reasons, I am infinitely blessed to be able to call myself a tequilero. And
so did you grow up wearing the hat?
Actually, the hat came about from necessity, because when I was living in Guadalajara, I started riding horses every day. I got reintroduced into el patrimonio mexicano, charrería, everything that it involves.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened, and I ride as often as I possibly can. So I always carry my spurs with me, and I'm ready to ride.
And how did you come up with such a great name, Aguila Real Tequila?
Well, it stems from a conversation that I had with my mom, and like any 27, 26-year-old, it was a girl. But she saw that I was acting out of character, so, she really made it a point and says, you're an eagle and you're acting like a duck. From that point on, I kind of rose from the ashes, and I've always worn an eagle, an águila, on my person to remind me that I'm an eagle and not a duck. The possibility of being a tequilero was so far removed. This project is love, passion, persistence. It's unlikely. I mean, coming from Boyle Heights, it's almost unimaginable, but it's come to fruition.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna say, you could have never dreamed this up. A kid in Boyle Heights now having his own tequila brand. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.